And my boy Gazzy's calling. Hold on, we're gonna pick up the phone. We'll go back to the banger in a second. Yeah, what up, my dude?
Yo, yo, yo.
How is the, how are you enjoying the season of Ghazzy, basically?
I'm enjoying the minions. I am. Minion AI needs some solving. I'm not a fan of the whole golem, though.
Not a golem. Here comes the minions need to be buffed again. I'm waiting for it. Surely, any second.
I don't think it has so much to do with minions. I'm gonna try Shadow tomorrow to compare. Have you played any minions?
No, I'm too busy playing the class that is always, you know, left in the corner. That one day will be good, surely. I'm playing Druid.
Druid minions, I take it?
I mean, I have minions, but literally only so the only move that does anything, Tornado, can do more damage with the Shepherd's aspect.
Oh.
The minions themselves. It's Season of the Minions unless you're playing Druid, then it's Season of the Minions buffs a different move.
Fair enough. Like, I do a men down build. Everyone said it was shit, and I made it work. And we're doing, like, pit level 70 to 75, and that's where it starts to become a problem. Like, at what point is the build considered good?
I mean, I guess it depends upon who you ask. Like, I think it'd be pretty hard to say minions are not good. I mean, I'm sitting there watching minions destroy bosses in, like, 3 seconds.
Like, those are golem builds. Smacking, like, 500 million to close to 1 billion damage.
Only
when
a
you set it
nice
up right.
casual billion?
Yeah, well, like, you set it up. And then it does really well in that. But they're so boring and dull to play for clearing. But bosses and pit is very linear, right? So it works there.
But you get 1 billion damage. I mean, you gotta pick your battles here. Either you're setting up a min-max boring 1 billion one-shot, or you have, you know, the full-on the horde there. See, I get the combo of both boring and bad. So I don't want to hear it.
I'm not complaining, though. I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to determine, like, how to label the builds, like, for the sake of my guides, right? Does that make
you
sense?
label them must click now, best build that's ever been made, do this or your account will be deleted. That's what I would put in the title.
That's fair. How's the gold situation for you?
Well, I gotta sell shit. The gold's fine for me now. Like, I'm not really having too much problems with gold, but that's because I'm not masterworking yet. I'm sure once I masterwork, it all goes out right out the window. That being said, I've heard a lot of complaints about the gold. I'll be honest, I'd rather be gold starved than have way too much gold, and that's because I like a nice economy where people actually want gold. We just went from, I mean, why the fuck would you ever accept gold for your boss mats? Like, I don't get why you would care for that. There's literally nothing you can do with the gold. To now people desperately need gold. So if you need gold, that means sell some items. I think it's only a problem for solo self-found people, which are specifically limiting themselves on purpose.
That's fair. I don't mind gold being in a position where you feel incentivized to engage with other types of content to generate gold, because selling items is not generating enough gold for me right now.
Yeah, you gotta
like
Whispers.
Getting the chaos chest. Yeah, chaos whisper is like 8 to 11 million gold if you get the chaos one. If you don't, you only get about 3 million. And a 3 million you burn through in like 3 clicks. But there's like, with the master crafting, it costs gold to mastercraft. It also costs gold to flip the material from the pit to the lower tier to upgrade the lower tier versions, right? So that was better to just not flip it, and because of how scarce the gold is, literally go into the pit and farm the lower tiers for that mats when you need it. Is much more effective.
So all they have to do is make it the higher tiers drop more of the lower tier material, right? And make it where you want to basically do the tier that's the highest you can do. And
yeah, I don't think you drop any of them. Yeah. I think you only get the tier.
Can't they just add that in? If they just add that in, so there's no reason to like purposely do worse content, then it's solved, right? If you don't need that. Because I'd rather them not just give us a fuckload of gold, honestly. I'd rather like kind of keep the gold somewhat scarce in order to make trading better.
I think that's pretty fair.
And here, like from the philosophy standpoint, I would rather have the main currency source be scarcer than overly abundant, since it's the what we use to trade with people. But outside of that, yeah, I get it. Also, at some point, like I'm thinking about it, they're gonna bottleneck something somewhere. Like it's Season of the Blasting, but what if you could blast entirely without having any like you just had infinite literally everything, and we all basically have a dev account.
I definitely agree with that. What do you feel about the state of the game so far?
Well, I'm trying to get to post 100 because I died at 87 on hardcore, so I lost 16 hours because Druid takes fucking forever to level. So I'm having to run it back and I'm 84 again. So in terms of like Uber, I haven't done the 200 Uber bosses yet. So it's hard for me to like give a 100%. This is the state of the entire game because I haven't done the 200 Uber bosses. That being said, I like the pit. I like the nightmare dungeons, even though they're, in my opinion, my least favorite thing to do in the game and remains the same. At least the Paragon Glyph XP is like obviously more noticeable and the XP is better. Helltide's just basically fun. The leveling is now short enough that it doesn't like actively make me want to no longer play the game. So I like that. I like that they cut a lot of the annoying shit out. Like now I can actually just hop on the horse and go running in town. That's fucking nice. I like the quality of life for the codex and the fact that salvage is faster. I feel like I'm spending way less time doing shit I don't want to do. Basically when I log into the game, all I want to do is kill minions. This game isn't like a game where I want to sit there and theory craft my build. I don't want to do that in this game because the game doesn't have it available. If it had it available, it would be a different subject. I want to sit there and theory craft my build and do all that. But it's just not the type of game it is, okay? I've come to accept that. So for that, when I log in, all I want to do is smash and grab. And there's a lot more smash and grab now, so therefore it's a lot more enjoyable now. Once we get more depth in the game and spend time doing other things, sure, so be it. But for right now, the speed of leveling and the kind of pacing of the game feels a lot better.
No, I definitely agree with like the quality of life, like changes to make you more busy or spend more of your time playing. It's actually there doing things that's enjoyable. The in-game replayability feels like it's so heavily focused around the pit, right? Like Nightmare Dungeon 100 is very easy. Everything else around it is, you know, just a means to an end. Like the only reason I'm engaging with other mechanics like Legion and World Bosses is to get the socket currency, the prismatic. The Whispers, I'm just doing those for the purpose of getting gold. And the only reason I would ever touch a Nightmare Dungeon is to quickly get my glyphs levels. And as soon as they're done, I don't want to touch Nightmare Dungeons. There's no purpose behind it. So then I'm sitting exclusively in the pit. And I don't know if that's a good way to do it. But then again,
it's not if you're trying to play the.
Been.
It's definitely not if you're trying to play the game for like a month or two. So how I feel about it is this. Basically, there's not enough content in the game that they're going to be able to like, because we're always comparing it against PoE. So they're not going to be able to do, it's not possible. They can't deliver 10 years of content, immediately put it out, have all the mechanics, have people be like, wow, there's so much variety and in-game and a million different things. We're asking for a completely different game at this point, which, to be honest, is fair because people didn't like the game when it came out. So I have to judge it against a different thing, which is while I'm playing it, before I get bored and I'm done with the season, am I having a good time? Arguably, the answer was no in previous seasons. Season 2, sure. Season 3 and 1, no. So while I'm playing the game, I'm talking from the start of it, like level 20, 30 on, I'm literally not enjoying the game. So now it's I'm enjoying the game until I no longer enjoy the game. Before, it always felt like, okay, well, I'm going to try to get through it and see if it gets better and kind of suffer through the process. And the answer was no. You're doing it, and you already know you're probably not going to have fun at the end. The replayability isn't there. But now the getting to the section of where you run out of content is fun. You still run out of content, but at least now getting to the section of now I'm out of content is an enjoyable process in and of itself. And that is at least something I like about the season.
I think we have to remember that the game is not catering to the 1% blasters. And the 1% blasters feels like a lot of us are expecting to have content that's keeping us interested for more than a week, right? But that's why I said at the start, like if the game offers me the enjoyment of 1.5, 2 weeks of gameplay, I'm more than happy.
It's a 2-week season. Like it's a 2-week season off the back of a season that was basically like a 3-day season. So it's like, okay, if I get 2 weeks of enjoyable playability, I'll be like, cool. I like the season where that's better than it was before. Is it PoE now? But like, I mean, for what it is, I'm enjoying it. I also liked these games back in like Xbox arcade games where there was like a fuckload of minions like just running at you, like the horde style games. It feels more like that now. Does it feel like a fully complete, there's a million different in-game systems and everything's balanced and everyone's got a different build? No, but it feels like an arcade game that's enjoyable now for the time that I'm playing it, which is good enough for me to make me play it for the season while it's active, and then give it a couple more seasons and we'll see. Maybe there's in-game content, I don't know. The pit's at least something to do, but I don't think the pit's gonna like make people stay in the game till season 5. Like people will quit the season, that will happen. But at least when people quit the season, they're gonna be like, I enjoyed it, as opposed to when they quit the season, they're like, this was absolutely terrible. People will still quit, but at least the time was better.
Last time I quit D4, it was because the game, how do I put this nicely? I was not enjoying it. That's the best way I could put it.
Yeah,
while being nice.
I didn't like season 3 either.
And now I don't even have any plans at all on quitting. My plan is, okay, I want to figure out what the pit is. How far will this build push it without going giga min-maxing? Now I'm looking into switching to another type of build tomorrow, and I want to do the same thing with that. Spend a day, 2, maybe even 3 doing that, and then, you know, when I'm done with that, I'll go to the next build and do the same thing there. Maybe 2 3 days max on that one. Suddenly, I will have spent more than a week of pure, actual, direct enjoyment, and I'm getting exactly what I want out of the season.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so it's pretty easy for us. I'm sitting here 16 hours a day playing the game. We're gonna get to the pit like day 2, and be blasting the Ubers like day 3 or something. Okay, but the majority of dudes are gonna hit level 100 like probably 3 or 4 days in, and then they're gonna have 2 or 3 days of the pit. They're going to probably have 2 or 3 days of discovering the rest of it. They're going to get a solid 7 or 8 days instead of like a questionable week. It's going to be like a solid week at a minimum, and then a pretty decent second week, and then they're going to get bored.
Itemization progression felt really cool. I hit World Tier 4, and I was like, I'm dying. I need resistances. And I had to look at rest on the gear until my Paragon board carried it. And then I was like, yeah, trying to switch away from rest on the gear, because now Gems and Paragon board was carrying, and Intelligence as well, was carrying the resistance. So it was an actual interesting progression where I looked at items for more than just the min-maxing, more than just, you know, the perfect stats. I was like, okay, I gotta make a decision. Where can I get this res in and try to fix that somewhere, or even tempering craft it temporarily? And that felt amazing.
Yeah, actually worrying about resistances.
Several times.
Like they're starting to add the first steps of like, okay, where do I add resistances? Where do I get my 9,230 armor? Like, there's the first steps of layers added to the game. We're watching the game basically get crafted. Like, it's a live service game. We're seeing the live service happen now. The first steps are there. So I don't know. I'm pretty positive about it. I feel like it's going to be the same thing. After a few weeks, people will be bored again. But at least now for those weeks, it's fun. That's pretty much my take. It's a very simple one.
All right, man. I'll leave you to it. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, brother. Good chatting with you.
Yes, have a good one, man.
Cheers. Shout out to the boy, Ghazzy.